Hey, so if you've been living under a rock, you've missed out on the Pokemon Direct for some odd reason, and we've got a Pokken tournament for the Switch coming out, virtual consoles getting gold and silver, and a new Pokemon Sun and Moon known as Pokemon UltraSun and UltraMoon is coming out. Yeah, that's the big stories, plus one more that I want to talk about in a different video because I think it's going to be pretty awesome, considering it touched on things that I was originally going to talk about anyway. But let's get into it. UltraSun and UltraMoon. What do we know about it? Jack nothing. A whole lot of zilch, nada, nothing, other than it's on an alternate timeline, which could mean anything. For all we know, we could go back to a timeline where Mega Evolution is not a thing, and then they just scrap the whole Mega Evolution thing all outright, which then means no more Mega Evolution. Of course, then again, I think in VGC rules, Mega Evolution is no longer usable anyway, just Z moves, which is his own thing, because I really enjoyed Mega Evolution. Sort of gives that Digimon vibe, but it also gave new utility to Pokemon you hadn't seen in a long time, like I don't know, Lot Bunny? Then again, you also don't see a whole lot of Lot Bunny either, let alone Mega Lot Bunny. It's more like Mega Salamence is hitting out there. Mega Kang for a long time, and then they nerfed him recently. So I hadn't seen a whole lot of those, but they're still out there. Mega Venusaur occasionally. Mega Charizard Y and X mixed now. It used to be a huge Y thing because he brought the drought, but that's sort of a mixed bag nowadays. Those are the things you see a lot of. But it would be nice to get new Mega Evolutions for other Pokemon too. I mean, Z-Moves is awesome. I kind of like that. It gives you this sort of random nuke that you can use at any time, or other things that could just change up the stuff, like doing a status move or something that gives you stats, which you normally wouldn't have been able to get in without using the Z move, which could make some Pokemon go from okay and may not be the worst thing in the world to suddenly terrifying, which I have seen happen, which is always a nice dynamic because you don't know where it's coming from, when it's coming from, or from what Pokemon it's going to come from, because unlike the Megas, when you usually saw these Pokemon that you normally wouldn't see, like, say, Venusaur, you probably know it's going to Mega. Gengar, you hadn't seen Gengar a whole lot, or Alakazam in a while until Mega came out. Then you saw them everywhere. You kind of knew what was coming up, what's going to be the Mega. With Z Crystals, you don't know who's going to have that nuke or status or whatever it's going to be, that Z move. But anyway, we're talking about UltraSun and UltraMoon. What are they going to do different? Timeline. Maybe no Mega Evolution. Maybe more Z moves. Maybe more Z Crystals for other Z things, for all we know. Because there is, the Pikachu one, where you could either have the electric Z Crystal, or you can have the Pikachu one if you got that one. And I don't know if they've distributed that or not, or they are in Japan, I think. I don't know if we got one. I honestly hadn't looked in a bit. But anyway, that would give you the different Z move. And of course, you can get some more of those. What I'd like to see, though, is move tutors. It'd be great to have some decent move tutors show up. And then again, looking at the trailer too, they could be doing some other things as well. I mean, it naturally will show off Sugalio and Lunala, and it's going to show off their supposed possibly Necrozma forms, considering it looks like a merger between Necrozma and the two legendaries. So we could be seeing that, we are going to see that. I don't know where I get could from, but we are going to see that. So they're going to use some kind of DNA splicer or something to fuse those two, so I don't know how that's going to change up. That could definitely change up the game, and maybe with any luck we'll get some more post-content, because post-game felt lacking for Sun and Moon. So it would be really nice to have some better or more post-game content that's not the battle tree, because the battle tree, it's not that great, honestly. You just grind the BP to get an item, and that's about it. And then you drop it, forget it, and never go back to it. That and getting the Mega Stones, which you can only do through the BP or the ones that are being distributed every so often after these little tournaments that they've been having and stuff. And then waiting a month or so to get it, and then they start distributing the Mega Stones that they didn't have in the game already. But I'd like to see some move tutors. But also in the trailer, it shows Mimikyu and Lycanroc midday form for a split second. So they could be doing something with them, for all we know. Maybe, I mean, they both look like they were sort of cutscene-ish. So we're definitely going to get something new out of it. For all we know, it could be just the initiating of the battle. It could be the whole Guardian thing, like they were doing beforehand with the trials and everything. And you got to beat the totem Pokemon, or maybe we're going to get gyms. To be honest, the totem Pokemon was alright and everything. It was great. But about halfway through the story, I was like, kind of done with the totem Pokemon. I understand you got to beat that to go on to the next thing and everything, and I guess, show power, see how you've progressed and everything, but actually going to gyms, getting a badge and stuff like that just felt more rewarding to me, like it has been in other games. And this is new. You could just say, well, I just like the old thing and I just want to hate on the new thing. And you can do that. But honestly, I felt like battling for the gyms, having a purpose to go and battle these gyms, beat the trainers, beat the leader, and then move on to the Elite Four, who are other people who you hadn't sat there and had to deal with earlier in the trials. And then beating the Elite Four, then beating the champion, and then having post-game content after that just felt more rewarding than it did going and doing these trials and then having their version of the Elite Four, and they're pretty much the people you kind of already fought with, but not really because they were totem Pokemon, and it didn't feel as rewarding as the other. So maybe we'll go to gyms this time instead of the trials, for all we know. I mean, there were some empty plots in several towns and cities throughout the game, which people were thinking was going to be some kind of player housing, but then it seemed to not do anything. They never went anywhere with it. They just remained empty, even in the post-game. There was no reason to have them there at all. Unless, alternate timeline, then there's a gym built there or something. I mean, that's always something. That could be something. It could be. You never know. Then again, alternate timeline, and as it stands right now, we know nothing about the game other than the fusion of the legendaries. What I would like to see is some more post-game content, because the Ultra Beasts were okay, but you can get through that pretty quickly. And it just, I don't know. After playing the Delta episode and then having all that other stuff in the same games there, as that just felt like there was more to do after you beat the game than there was with Sun and Moon. Did Sun and Moon, you went and you got the Tapus, you went and you got the Ultra Beasts, and that was it. There's literally nothing more to do in Sun and Moon once that was done. You could go to the Battle Tree, grind up some BP, but that was about it. There was no secret bases to visit, secret bases to go find, or anything like that. There wasn't like little islands that would spawn up that you can go and fly through the overworld and then run into it and go collect other Pokemon that you normally may not have been able to catch through that, plus, a possible legendary and other stuff, which I thought was a nice touch and pretty cool to have. Having the ability to fly around like that. And, of course, you could go and land at different places. So if you decide you want to go over here, you can go over there. And it was pretty cool. It gave a little bit more to do, even after you've done the Delta episode. You had all this other stuff. And it'd be nice to see some more post-game. Even if they do change it up, the story is a little bit different. Alternate timeline, whatever. I'm not sure how they're going to do all that. Because quite frankly, it's probably going to remain the same. I mean, you're going to the same area, so unless they plan to change the map somehow, I don't see that really doing a whole lot other than changing the map. or not changing the map. You'd still be going to the same place. You know where you're going. You've already visited and explored it as it is. So, alternate timeline, that's all we got. That's all the news we have, and people are stuck on it. People are going, oh, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. But we don't know anything about it yet, so we don't know if it is going to suck. I mean, heck, just the additions of a bunch of move tutors would be flipping great, honestly. It'd be nice to teach some Pokemon moves that, they don't normally get, because I would really like to see Lycanroc get some more stuff than what it does. It's one of my favorites out of Sun and Moon, and it seems to underperform. It's a little bit underwhelming, and it just doesn't have a diverse move pool at all, which is kind of sad compared to some of the others in the game, where they'll get, especially the Ultra Beasts, where they'll just get randomly this other move that isn't even close to their type, just out of the blue, and it's like, oh, and then it gets that. That's odd. Okay. But maybe we'll see something. So, move tutors, alternate timeline, maybe gyms. Probably not, though. It's probably not going to happen. Story will probably be different. Maybe we'll get some more information about how some things go. Maybe the whole Ultra Beast thing is different. And more post content for legendaries and other stuff would be really great. I mean, I understand you can't just bring in Hoopa and throw Hoopa rings everywhere or something, but then again, maybe you could. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's about all I got to say on it. There's not a whole lot that we know of yet, so there's not a whole lot to talk about other than what we hope will be in there. So, that's about it. Until then, see you next time.